What's up? Welcome to the Vegas Benchwarmer channel. You are watching the Vegas Benchwarmer Podcast. My name is He Hate Me 702, and my co-host, the man of the hour,
Jeremy with a G.
And how are you doing today, buddy?
Doing all right.
Like, real talk, I've gotten a lot better at that fucking intro. It's only taken me 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm honestly not even looking at the screen right now because of the fact that I'm sending out the tweet. But yeah, I've gotten better at that fucking thing. I'm not even gonna lie. When did you guys send these? You sent these at 5:40. Okay, is this a YouTube one? All right. So today we got a lot of stuff on tap. We are going to talk about the NBA because the NBA season has basically made me not do anything but pay attention to it at all. Like the trades that have been coming out nonstop, consistently, just rolling. Chris Paul moving to 2 different places, finding out when he was on a plane ride to New York. Let's see. So we got tons of news there. We're going to talk about the Suns, the Celtics, Marcus Smart in Memphis. We got the Ultimate Fighter season 31 or whatever. We're going to talk about episode 4. We got, which wasn't a bad match. It's just got his ass whooped. We got dragged. And then we got an announcement yesterday for all the boxing fans out there. Canelo versus Charlo. And then we're going to talk about the Bloodline, WWE, Bloodline being done. And then last but not least, I don't know what order we're going to talk about this in. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl hangover / slump. Is it still a fucking thing? Because we got into a Twitter debate. Well, not we, me. I got into a fucking Twitter debate. And I'm just going to let y'all know, I may not always have the ability to get what I want to say across the way that I want to say it because my mind thinks like six seconds faster than the rest of my words can get it out. But a lot of times, like our sports knowledge is fucking ridiculous. And most of the time off the top of our head, we will make you question your sports knowledge. That literally happened in a tweet, in a Twitter exchange. The dude literally was so sure 5 tweets into it. He's like, wait, who won this Super Bowl? Like completely questioned everything he knew. And then I had to break it down for him. So we're going to talk about that because I don't believe that's a thing anymore. I think that's some bullshit. I think it's another holdover from the 80s, the 90s, when defense wins championships. I think that's some more bullshit. So we're going to get into that. Maybe we debate about it. Maybe we don't. We'll go over the what are they? Trying to think. We'll go over the teams that won, teams that lost, and see how they did the next year. And see whether you guys think whether or not it's a it's a Super Bowl slump or people just making shit up. It's almost like the Madden curse. Josh Allen, I'm sorry, you're gonna get back to that Madden curse. All right, so let's just start it off with Aces with the WNBA. We'll just start off with the WNBA because the Aces are still fucking rolling. I mean, they only have that one loss to Connecticut, which comes basically on a back-to-back game, even though they weren't back-to-backs. It was one of those, we play you in Connecticut, you play us. So they got beat the second game. But they've lost that one game. They're 7-0 in the conference. They're 5-0 at home. They're 6-1 on the road. And they have a 4-game win streak. So what were they? 7-1. Now they're 4-1. Now you got Connecticut, who is 11-3. Shout out to Sam from what is it? Not even Dudes on the Couch no more. It's just Sam Dunn because he's living up in fucking Connecticut, Bradbury or Danbury, wherever that fucking town is. And he actually likes that team. So he's kind of paying attention to him last year. So shout out to them and him for that team doing good. It looks like we're about to be some rivals going on. Like the Chicago Sky was supposed to be our rival. And then, they just did bad. New York, they're 8-3. Not really surprising. They're having a couple struggles just due to them getting everything together, getting all the chemistry together. But at the same time, when they're hot, they're fucking hot. It's not even funny. Washington, I love Washington. Natasha Cloud, Ella Deladon, a whole bunch of cool shit. I love that team. I really like that team. Like I like a lot of the players on that team. I'm trying to think of who the other person is. Los Angeles. Then you get down to the shitty teams that are they're in the middle right now. So Los Angeles is okay. They're 6-7. Dallas is 6-7. The Atlanta Dream is surprisingly 5-7, along with the Indiana Fever. I don't think, huh?
Huh?
Oh, the one that is surprising the most to me is the Phoenix Mercury, only having 2 wins on the season. With Brittany Griner coming back.
Oh. You know what they say.
That's the one that's surprising me the most. But outside of that, it's kind of playing out the way I thought with the WNBA. Saw the super teams get put together. The Aces as a whole just have a better. They only really added one big player or 2 big players, so they were kind of stacked together. New York added basically a whole fucking team, so you knew that was going to take some time. You knew with Seattle losing Sue Bird and Brianna Stewart that Seattle was going to take a huge dip. Chicago, the same thing, losing Courtney Vandersloot and Candace Parker. So as of right now, nothing's really surprising me in the WNBA. What about you?
Oh, I haven't watched a whole lot. Well, the last week and a half, I haven't watched a whole lot of anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand. How's your surgery going? How's your back feeling?
My back is fine.
Where'd you have your surgery again?
On my abdomen.
Abdomen. Why do I keep fucking thinking your back? And you've told me that. We've had this conversation before. We've literally had this conversation multiple fucking times, and you still tell me. And I always keep saying, I tell everybody, they're like, what happened? I'm like, oh, my podcast partner got, I think he had his lower back. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, he got surgery.
No. I don't know. It looks, I don't know why our conference looks weird. Like
yeah,
everybody's bad except for us.
Yeah, because but that's because it's the West Coast. Well, I mean, it's the West Coast basically. But you have like these teams, Dallas and Los Angeles. They'll be fine. Those teams will be not bad. I think because they'll end up making the playoffs. We know that, but I think they'll actually give some people a run for their money. I think Los Angeles is getting kind of they're 5-5 in their last 10. I think they're getting kind of their chemistry starting to come together with Baby Bitch coming back and getting more involved in the lineup. So I think that helps out. I don't even want to pronounce her name, the lady that's always on ESPN and all them, whatever fuck her name is. So that doesn't surprise me. I think Los Angeles will probably finish with the winning record. And I think Dallas will finish with probably like a 500 record or right under. But I mean, when you look at it, we're 7-0 in the fucking conference. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means each team has a loss to us. We've given each team one of their fucking losses, and some of them too. But last year, when you looked at this, we had a much better conference because Seattle was better and Phoenix was better. Phoenix is surprising to me, buddy. I don't know what the fuck's happening with them.
LA is better this year.
Yeah. But I don't know what the fuck's happening with Phoenix.
The Storm.
I think Minnesota wasn't bad last year either.
Sucks. The Mercury. Well, that's karma.
That is karma. Fucking trade. Yeah. And again, Seattle being bad because of the fact that they were fucking, they got rid of everybody. And then, I mean, when you really look at the fucking, the other conference, outside of 11-3, 8-4, 8-3, but everybody else is 5-7, 5-7, 5-8. So I mean, but in about a week and a half, it'll probably change the way it looks a little bit. Do you see what I'm saying? I just think right now it's still earlier on in the season. It's the 13 games out of 46. So I think they still have a lot of these teams are still getting used to the new players coming in. And even though we have new ones, we had a strong fucking chemistry. And then they pissed us off by suspending Becky Hammond.
We got to get to some games soon.
I was just thinking that there was a game last week. I was literally thinking that this morning before we got on. I was like, we should look at the game because like there was one that I had just looked at, and I was like, that would probably be a great game to go to because of the time it was. So it's Monday. Yeah, there's a Monday game, but they play Indiana Fever. They play today. That's on NBA TV. They pay the Indiana Fever, and there's Thursday. We should go to Thursday's game. It's New York Liberty. Damn, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games at home straight. So on Thursday, there's the Liberty, which would be a great game to go to. Or we could go on Monday. Do you want to go? We can go on Monday to the Fever. Only good thing with seeing the Fever is you see the number 1 overall pick, Aaliyah Boston. But that's going to be an ass-whooping game. So, I mean, if I had to pick the game, depending on the price of the tickets, I would definitely go to the Liberty. And then on July 1st, they have the Connecticut's coming here. So, I mean, that's Saturday at 12 p.m.
Can Alyssa go to what at 12?
Alyssa doesn't want to go. No, she said nope.
She's not as old as us.
Yeah.
These fucking young people.
A fucking young people. He said you're catching us. You're getting old.
Catching up to us.
Yeah, you're catching up to us. Yeah.
I sure am.
Okay, so
that's what happens when you hang out with too many old people.
We're gonna jump. We're gonna jump around. Fuck you. We're gonna jump around a little bit. Let's just get into
I love you.
Jeremy's fucking tired over here.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Oh. We're gonna jump into the Bloodline. The Bloodline is the Bloodline done? No, the Bloodline is fucking done. Is done.
About time the Bloodline's done.
No, it's not. Listen. I don't give a fuck if they pull an NWO swerve right now. I don't give a fuck if they do that and swerve the shit out of the whole entire country and get back together because of the fact that it's one of the greatest. It is probably. Let me think in my head of how many times I've been this invested into a wrestling story. None. Like even as a kid, NWO. Well, that's not a lie. That's bullshit. Because Bret Hart versus Austin. That whole entire thing, I love that with the Hart Foundation. The beginning of the NWO was amazing. And then I missed a lot of the 2000s from like 2000 to 2010, so I don't give a fuck. Once they bought ECW and WCW, I kind of stopped watching, and then I came back around 2011. So when I'm thinking through like the Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart was good. Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Mankind. But I'm trying to think of a time that I've literally, even though I'm a casual, like I always make sure to watch what's going on with the Bloodline. I may not watch every single episode of Raw or SmackDown. I may catch them later on. But at the same time, as soon as that show is over, I'm literally Googling WWE on Fox and WWE on USA for YouTube and watching what the fuck's going on with the Bloodline and all that shit. So just think of what has happened. Sami Zayn went from a clown to being a main event player, basically. Main event at one thing at WrestleMania. We got Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens back together, even though they said they were done. We had that whole thing. We have the emotional connection with the Uso brothers. I'm not a big fan of Solo Sikoa, but we have this motherfucker coming out of nowhere. Jay said it perfectly in his thing. Because of Roman, they know the difference between us two. I just think the story is so good. I know we've seen it before or seen something very similar to it, even though with factions like the Four Horsemen or something like that, even though the breakup was not the same. But you've seen factions that are dominant, but this is just fucking good. And the way that Jey Uso super kicked the fuck, I mean, the way that whole thing went down, it was so good. You out! You know what? I'm out too. Bomb! The way he super kicked him and Jimmy, I did this for you. Bomb! The way Roman got up and tried to, you need me. Bomb!
I just want to see them beat the living hell out of Paul Heyman.
Huh?
I just want to see them beat the living hell out of Paul Heyman.
The way that he kept
I cannot stand Paul Heyman.
That I love Paul Heyman because you're not supposed to stand him.
That fat motherfucker is annoying.
But that's how you know he's doing it. Like, as a character, he irritates the fuck out of me. But he is so good in that character to the fact that he can irritate the fuck out of me.
That's because it's not a character.
No, it's really fucking him. Yeah, it's really him. We know that. We saw that with ECW. That's really fucking him. But, I mean, when they came down on Friday and cut that promo and talked about, Solo, Roman, welcome to the Uso Penitentiary. Dude, I was going crazy. Crazy. I got chills up my spine. I was like, oh, yes. I've always liked the Usos. I love the respect they gave Kofi when he was going through his championship run and they put him in that conflict and they said we weren't fighting. I've always loved those two tag teams. No matter whether they're heel or babyface, I've always liked them. Like, I rock with them. They're my tag teams. Certain tag teams, I don't give a fuck. It's almost like Tommaso and Johnny Gargano. If those motherfuckers come back as DIY, I'm gonna rock with them too. So that's just a tag team. So I love it. Now, do I think that who's gonna defeat Roman? And that's what we're still going on, because we know they're gonna whoop their ass. The Usos is about to beat the shit out of Roman and them. Like, it's gonna be a great match. But they said something. This is not a singles match. This is a tag team match, and we the ones. So they said it. So they gonna put it out. It's gonna be a great match, but they gonna end up winning. They have to win, because that way the dominance, that way it shows the cracks in the bloodline. And then Roman's gonna start going fucking psycho because he doesn't fucking know. He ain't gonna be trusting anybody. But who's gonna defeat him? Are they giving it to Jay? Because Jimmy can't do it. It'd have to be Jay. We know they're not doing it with Cody. That's why they introduced the other belt, because this storyline is way too fucking good for Cody to win. And that's a motherfucker I can't stand, Cody Rhodes. We can get on that another topic. And then, so I don't know. I'm invested. I love the Usos. I think I loved when they went from fucking the face paint to the Usos Penitentiary. I loved it. Thought it was fucking amazing. You know, sometimes you see some of these stars try to portray a more, I'm not even just more street. Like, they were more street when they came out, and it doesn't work right. And they literally went from hoo-yah, hoo-yah, ha, 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 to we the ones. Like, that's just, I love it. I love the transition. But I think it's one of the great, and again, what's going to happen with Paul Heyman? Where's he going to go? Huh? Is your internet freezing? Because you're stuck.
Hey, homie.
Yeah, you're stuck.
His internet said no.
But fucking thing is outstandingly good. I love it. When Jeremy comes back, we'll get his opinions on it, because I can't really hear him. I don't know if you guys can. Maybe it's me. But looking at the thing, it's just him.
I was like, it's probably him, because I'm
yeah. So yeah, he just jumped out. So Bloodline, fucking, it's amazing. I love the storyline. It's gonna be outstanding cinema. Everybody keep tuned to it. Watch it. Fucking great. We'll get him back in. When he jumps back in, we'll jump back on it. We're gonna get into some basketball real quick, because, you know, this is my thing. This is not his thing. Oh no, well, my internet just went down. What the fuck is going on with our internet company?
Your internet just gave out?
No, it's just going. You can see the bars. All right, let's talk about the Suns' new big three. Oh, here comes Jeremy back. All right, buddy. Go ahead and tell us your thoughts on the Bloodline. It being a thing.
I think this is the Usos' precursor to getting their belt. I don't think they're going to have Jimmy or Jay take the belt from Roman. I think it's either going to be Damian Priest or Cody Rhodes that they're going to have take the belt from Reigns.
I can see that.
More towards Damian Priest taking the belt.
I can see that. That could be his next big push, because they're really invested in him. Damian Priest is a great worker. I mean, not so big a fan of his character.
It's not going to be exciting.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's just what I see based on the little bit that the clips of here and there that I am able to catch.
Yeah, but Cody Rhodes is so fucking generic, dude. I hate him. I hate him so bad. He's so fucking. I've never liked him. I've never gotten the reason why everybody likes him. I don't get it. I don't. He's not. Okay, yes. Can he work? Yes, he can. He can work. Oh, he's great on the mic. No, the fuck he's not. No, he is the worst Rhodes on the fucking mic. No, he is so generic. How the fuck do you come? I'm gonna come out in a shirt and tie. Like, your voice and your attitude doesn't even match your fucking appearance. I'm coming out with a shirt and tie all the fucking time. I'm just gonna fight you. I got a fucking tattoo up here. I got all this fucking shit over here. And I'm trying to be a fucking tough guy. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Fucking annoying. Fucking, oh my God. I can't stand him. Okay, we're gonna go to the Suns' big three. So, for anybody that has been stuck under a rock, the Suns decided that they said, fuck your luxury tax, bitch. So for all y'all that don't know, the collective bargaining agreement basically said we have two luxury caps. We have the hard cap, and then we have the one where we're going to fuck you in the ass with no Vaseline. Okay? That's what they said. And that one right there, that one, they take away they don't just take away money. You got to pay money, and you get fucking shit taken away. So they're like, oh, okay. Taking away money, saying, oh, you got to pay double what you pay isn't good enough? Fine. You can't use a mid-level exception, bitch. That means if you have 3 max players, you going to have trouble building your rosters because you can't use veteran minimums and mid-level exceptions because of the fact that, so you can't get a veteran to come in and just sign for a veteran minimum. And that basically means that because they're a veteran, they can get higher than what an average salary is. So you're going to fill out your fucking roster with a whole bunch of fucking G Leaguers. The NBA is actively trying to kill super teams. Okay, and you know what the Phoenix Suns said? Fuck you. Fuck you, bitches. Fuck you right now. They went and got one of the most expensive motherfuckers that you possibly could get. Chris Paul had 1 year left on their salary. Bradley Beal has 3 to 4. Bradley Beal is going to be getting paid $50 million. And he has a no trade clause. So they can't just upload him. So they got Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and DeAndre Ayton. For those 4 players, it's $162.3 million. The salary cap is 170 or 172. The hard cap is like 185. So they have $23 million to spend before the NBA starts taking shit away from them. And they have to still fill out 9 people. So I don't know what the fuck they're going to do. I know they're going to probably trade DeAndre Ayton. So I don't know what they're going to do. Do I like the fit? I don't fucking care. I don't care. Oh, is it going to fit? We need defense. Defense wins championships. Stop it fucking right now. We will get into that later with the Super Bowl hangover. No, the fuck it does not. You can't have no defense. You can't be the run and gun Phoenix Suns. You can't be the team that gives up no defense. You have to be able to make stops at certain points of time in the game. We've seen that. But at the same time, having a studly defensive team does not mean shit. You can motherfucking outscore opponents. Game scores are 130 and 120. Defense isn't stopping nobody. They running up and down, scoring as much as they want. And the only fucking time defense is coming into play is during crunch time and if you happen to have a defensive stopper. So yes, you can have a defensive stopper and you can put them on like Curry, but Curry's still getting his fucking 30 points. Look at Marcus Smart. Defensive player of the year last year, didn't even make the All-NBA team and got fucking traded. Doesn't matter no more. It's not as big of a deal as what it is. You have to have a defensive team. You need to be a top 10, top 12 defensive team, but you got to fucking be able to score. You don't have fucking scores? Fuck that shit. You need offense in every fucking sport, probably besides baseball. Okay? You need offense in every other sport. You got to be able to put points on the board. Their defense is going to lack. Who gives a fuck? They literally were tied 2-2 with Denver. They gave Denver the hardest series of the entire playoffs. Hardest series of the playoffs. And only played together for fucking 12 games. Could you imagine if they played together for 30 fucking games? It's Kevin fucking Durant and Devin Booker. Devin Booker's going to play point. Bradley Beal, I don't know who gives a fuck what they do. They are about to fuck everybody up. But to give you guys an idea, the trade is Washington gets Chris Paul and Landry Shamet. Landry Shamet was originally a Sixer. He went to the Clippers and he went to the Suns. So he's been all over the place. Very, very, he's a good role player. Sometimes he goes off, sometimes he doesn't. They also get multiple second-round picks and multiple pick swaps. Pick swaps are me and Jeremy trade first-round picks. I trade him the best pick of the worst. So that means when the picks come out, he gets to pick which one he wants. So even though we both have a pick, let's say I suck that year because everybody gets injured, and we get a number 3 pick, and he's halfway, and he gets the number 7 pick. He gets to take the 3 pick. We get to take the 7 pick. So very simple. They just swap picks. But normally the Washington will get to pick which team, which pick they want. And then they got the Suns got Bradley Beal, some throw in. Isaiah Todd's not a bad guy. I don't know who the fuck Jonathan Goodwin is. So it's a great, to me, that's, you had to do it. You had to do it. But they said, fuck that salary cap and luxury tax. What'd you think about it when you first saw it? Jeremy, did you see it come through? What was your opinion?
I mean, I've seen some stuff go through. I don't know a whole lot of what any of it fucking means. I just see the shit come through. I message you and I'm like, hey, so-and-so was traded to wherever. And then when I get a text message back, holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, it must be.
Okay, so if I had to put it in football terms or base football terms, it would be like it'd be like Lamar Jackson. It'd be like I can't even say the Ravens. See, I'm trying to think of a team who was in the fucking conference championships? The Eagles and who else? The Niners. Eagles and the Niners, yeah. So that one's kind of hard because it's basically just a team that's already stacked, but it's they're not there yet. So they're like a contender. Like you could say the Dolphins trading an older receiver or for a good receiver, or trading one of their running backs for fucking Delvin Cook. That'd probably be what it's like. Trading, they have offensive weapons, they're good on offense. Trading somebody for Delvin Cook. Or the Bills trading for a good running back. Or upgrading a position. So you have an older veteran at a position and you upgrade it for a younger fucking all-star. All Pro Bowl player. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's only a contender. But in basketball, it's harder to do because it means so much more because there's only 5 players on the court. Because I tried to do that with Tepis from when he tweeted us about the Kristaps Porzingis trade. And I basically said it's like the Bills getting an average to above average running back. And that has the talent, like he's 4 or 5 years in, hasn't played well, but has the talent to be a fucking amazing player. Just has to unlock it.
Got it.
But I mean, and they have to in the West. They're gonna have a whole entire offseason together, depending on what they do with Aiden. Like if I'm them, I trade Aiden for a whole bunch of fucking halfway decent players. Aiden's contract kicks in. I trade him for 3 or 4 decent players if I can get them. Maybe if depending on who you want, depending on what team will give them to me. So like you can't go to Boston now because they've got Kristaps. But I mean that would have been a nice trade if you could have got like Malcolm Brogdon and Daniel Gallinari and somebody else. That wouldn't have been a bad. Whoever they gave up to fucking in that trade that we're about to talk about for Porzingis, that wouldn't have been a bad trade. If you could have gotten you could trade him to, I can't even say Miami, another team and get about 3 to 4 pieces. Not another team that needs a center or a big man, even like a rebuilding team. Like if you could trade him to Orlando and maybe get like Markelle Fultz or Jalen Suggs, depending on what they want to give up, another piece. Like I think that's their best scenario there. But since we're stuck on the Suns, let's talk about CB3 being traded twice and finding out from his son. He was on a plane to go to New York to do Good Morning America or whatever. And when he landed, his son texted him. He saw his son's text message that he got traded. Everybody's talking shit. Everybody's talking all this fucking shit about, oh my God, that's so wrong. Listen to me. Come here. Come here really close to you guys. Shut the fuck up. Okay? Let's stop fucking pampering these fucking athletes. I'm sorry. Have you ever been fired from your job? I was fired. Everybody knows I was fired. I was fired.
I've never been fired.
I was fucking fired. They said, hey, your position is no longer fucking needed. Even though it was laying off. That's a nice term to say, bitch, you're fired. So I was fucking fired. Granted, did they give me a 2-week notice? Yes. Yes, they did. But how many people have been fired and they don't give fucking notice? Shut the fuck up. This is real life world. We forget that is a fucking business. Their job is to make money. If they can get a trade for somebody else, they don't have the responsibility to come in, especially Chris Paul. Now, maybe when Devin Booker or Dame Lillard, somebody that's been with the Portland Trailblazers, somebody that's been with the team for 11, 12 years, Bradley Beal. Yes, but not a dude that just got there 3 years ago. Oh my God, you owe Chris more than that. No, the fuck I don't. Fuck you. And why do we give a fuck about them? Like, why do we care that they got traded? Motherfucker's still making $40 million.
I just want a little bit of it.
So, like, in our real life, we get fired, demoted, fucking sent home, and none of us get a fucking warning.
No, we don't. We don't, dude.
No.
They try, but no, you go fucking kiss my ass.
So, yeah, oh my God, it's so shit. Man, can we fucking stop with this bullshit? And fucking, can we go back where everybody doesn't get a fucking medal? Fuck. So tired of people. Oh my God. And like, it wasn't, but there were so many people. They were talking about it on Good Morning America. And Chris Paul said it's a business. I understand it. It's a fucking business. But then guess where he got traded to?
He went to Golden State.
He went to Golden State for Jordan Poole. And who else was it? Jordan Poole, and they also get a 2030 first round pick.
That was the only first round pick that came out of that whole 3-team trade deal.
What do you mean?
So the 3-team that sent Chris Paul and all that.
Well, the Suns,
everybody moved everybody to fuck around.
The Wizards get like 4 swaps.
So they didn't get it.
No, but they technically, even though it's not the same thing as having a 21st round pick, the swap is still fucking ridiculous because of the fact that
you just swapped 1 first round pick for another. You didn't. Get an additional first round pick. Literally, the only literal first round pick came in the Chris Paul trade.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I see what you're saying because they're the only team that received one without giving one up. So in your scenario, you're saying the swap is giving one up. I get what you're saying. I got you.
Yeah, the swap, you're not giving up anything. You're just here's my.
Yeah, you're getting one, but you're giving up a pick as well. Where this one, they're not giving shit up to get this pick.
Yeah, they just get the first round pick.
Yeah. Now, the funny part about this is they just gave him an extension last offseason. Jordan Poole got a $120 million
4 years. That 4 years, $130 million contract.
And they wanted to get off that extension so fucking bad. And this is again why I'm saying everybody doesn't deserve a fucking medal. Okay, that motherfucker had one good fucking run. One good run. He wasn't doing bad, but y'all
played like trash in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, but yeah, the year before he was good. He was actually a reason they won the championship. A big part of it. But you don't pay that motherfucker like that just because he has one good year. You gotta wait. Motherfuckers cashing bitches out like no fucking tomorrow. God. So, and then he was traded to the Warriors. I don't like this trade at all.
Why?
I love it for Washington. They get a 2027, a 2030 first round pick, which is protected, and a 2027 second round pick. So that first round protected is protected. So it's top 20 protected. The next year it probably won't be protected. We'll have to see what the protections are. But that is 7 years from now. 7 drafts away. They're not having Curry in 7 drafts. So there's a good possibility in 7 years, Golden State might be one of the worst teams in the league. or a far less, or they could be that lottery playing down. So you may be almost guaranteeing yourself in 2021 a top 14 pick. Just depending on what they do with their salary cap and everything. So I love that. I love it for Washington. You get Jordan Poole, who, even though I don't think he deserved the money that he got, more props to him. I wouldn't have paid him if I shouldn't say deserve it. I wouldn't have paid him if I was the GM. I think him being on Washington is a very, very good thing. The reason why is I think the punch by Draymond fucked him up. They need someone to bang with Jokic. Yeah. But I don't. Listen, Jokic and them may not be fucking healthy the whole year. Let's be 100% honest. It's not Jokic that carries that team. It's Jamal Murray. I said that last week. That's why it's just coincides with the only healthy season Jamal Murray's had in 2 years, 3 years. They end up in the playoffs. They end up in the championship. We forget Jamal Murray was putting on a fucking show in fucking the bubble before he got injured. Jokic is a huge part of it. Don't get me wrong, but that championship, Jamal Murray is the gas that fuels it. Jokic is a motor. Jamal Murray is the gas. I understand what you're saying. I know what that Aiden comment was for. That Aiden comment was for CP3. I get what you're saying with the Suns. I still think we need to hold off on this dynasty thing because I think if they don't have to see what happens with the Denver. I think yes, you have to have somebody to bang with Jokic, but again, I think you can outscore them. I think very similar to what they did in this playoffs they'll do next year without having Chris Paul because Chris Paul was injured. I think and we also forget that Chris Paul being injured might have had a huge thing why they lost. So I don't think you need somebody as much to bang with Jokic. I think they had a perfect run. I honestly think you need somebody that takes away Murray. So Chris Paul, I don't like the trade to Golden State. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do. Please say they repurpose him. Please say they trade his ass again because I don't. What the fuck are we looking at right here? I don't think Draymond Green's coming back with Chris Paul. So I don't like it. I like it. I think it's fucking horrible. I think they wanted to get off the Jordan Poole trades contract so bad they gave a fuck. They said, fuck it, it's 1 year. It's 1 year we're paying him. And if Dre doesn't come back, we'll have cap room next season. Marcus Smart, Boston Celtics. Memphis gave up a first-round draft pick. Memphis gave up a couple first-round draft picks. They gave up a 2023 first-round draft pick, so they gave up the 2025 pick, and they gave up a 2024 first-round draft pick that they got from Golden State. Top 4 protected. So they gave up 2 firsts to get the former Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart. I don't understand what Memphis is doing. I don't get it. I understand Dillon Brooks is a troll and he pissed you guys off. I get that. But do you know the fuck you just got? You just got another version of fucking Dillon Brooks. Except for there are points in time where Dillon Brooks can actually score. Not only did you get another person for Dillon Brooks, you got a locker room veteran that has no problem speaking up. So maybe you got somebody that can tell Ja what the fuck to do. Like, hey, Ja, you need to put that shit down. But maybe you got someone that Ja fights. Because they're about the same fucking size. And they both, and you gave up 2 firsts. I don't get that. What is Marcus Smart's contract? $14 million, so it's probably cheaper than Dillon Brooks. It's a lateral move, and you gave up picks. I don't see that. And I don't think Marcus Smart is that good of a defensive player. I think Marcus Smart literally, I think he got a lot of help with Jalen. Like everybody on the Boston team could play defense. I just think they picked him out of everybody else because he flopped more. But I'm not so sure. But I do not like this trade at all. I do not like what they did. I think it was one of the dumbest things that they possibly could have done. Maybe if they didn't give up the first round draft picks, I'm okay with that. But I don't like it. I think the biggest problem you guys had last year was Steven Adams was injured and some other shit. So I think you could have done, if you wanted to make a home run, you should have tried to get fucking Jaylen Brown. Done something else. You guys need a wing, a big wing. So I'm not a big fan of it. Did you hear about this trade?
I don't. I probably did.
Well, it came as part of the new Celtics Big Three, where they traded Kristaps Porzingis. The Celtics got Kristaps Porzingis from Washington, and they got the 2 first-round picks from Memphis. Washington gets Tyrus Jones from Memphis, Gallinari and Muscala from Washington from the Celtics, and the Grizzlies get Marcus Smart. I love this trade for Boston. They got 2 first-round picks, gave up a second-round pick, and only had to give up Marcus Smart, and got a player that has the talent. At one point, okay, Victor Wembanyama is the number 1 overall draft pick in this year's draft. They're calling him a unicorn. They're basically saying he's the greatest prospect ever. If you go back to Kristaps Porzingis being drafted, they weren't saying he was the greatest prospect ever, but that's kind of the same line. He was called a fucking unicorn. Like, he could shoot a 3. He had very similar skills to Victor. Victor has way better handles and is way better. But he had very similar skills to that. And he went to a shitty-ass New York franchise that didn't know what the fuck they were doing. He then got traded to Dallas, which, okay, didn't have a good time there. And then he went to Washington. So in each scenario, he's been asked to be the number 1 person or the number 2 person. He's been asked to help refix the unit or help be the co-star to whatever. And that's not his job. He's suited for a 3. It's fucking foreign. He's Lithuanian or Latvian or some shit like that. I don't fucking know. But basically what I'm saying is he's soft as a cupcake. So in this scenario, what we should be doing is making him a 3. And by making him a 3, a number 3 option, they just did everything that I think they needed to. If I'm the Celtics, this is my starting lineup. I'm putting Derek White at the 1 or Malcolm Brogdon at the 2. I'm putting Derek White or Malcolm Brogdon at the 1. Jaylen Brown is going at the 2. Jason Tatum is moving his ass back to the 3. Fuck this 3-4 shit. Nah, we're not playing small ball. There's no fucking reason to. Bam! Slide their bitches over. Robert Williams at the 4 and fucking Kristaps at the center. Robert Williams is going to be that dog that cleans up all the shit that you need him to clean up. He's going to give you the power, the size, all that shit. And then on the switches, we got Kristaps. Kristaps going to be out there hitting those threes. Boom, corner threes. He ain't step back. Bam. He going to be in laying it up because he's on shot block. I think, what did he average? He averaged like 20 points this year. He's going to be very, very good. But I'm pulling it up right now. He averaged regular season. He averaged 23 points, 8.4 rebounds, 1.5 blocks on 49% shooting, almost 50% shooting, and 38% from the field. Granted, he only played 65 games, but I don't give a fuck about that. They're not going to ask him to do everything that Washington did. So I love this trade. I really, really love this trade. Hey, shout out to them. Check out their show. The show is amazing. Dude is hilarious. I forget the one dude, but there's one dude on there. Last thing I think I saw him doing, he was wearing a fucking shirt, a vest. He was wearing a suit top with a tie, and he had no shirt on, and I don't think he had sleeves on. Fucking, yeah, just a character. And then Tino's, please go check him out, man. He has some of the best Twitch streams. I'm pretty positive he uses StreamYard because I've seen him do it before. His Twitch streams are amazing with the WWE and the way he does it. He puts in people from AEW and all that stuff. And then Roman Reigns, some people will be fighting 3 to 4 times in a stream. So go check them all out. So yeah, I love this trade for the Celtics. I think it's very, very dangerous for the Celtics. I think it was the best trade. I think by losing Marcus Smart, it's addition by subtraction. Marcus Smart was not an offensive threat, but he was a guy when crunch time came, he thought he was. And I think they're going to unleash Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum even more than before by having him move from the locker room. You have any thoughts on the Celtics trade?
No.
No. Canelo versus Charlo. Now, this just got announced yesterday. Do you know who Charlo is, buddy? It's Jamal Charlo.
I think I've heard of him.
Okay, so you have, but it's been a while since he's fought. He hasn't fought since 2021. Jamar Charlo is undefeated. He's 32-0, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go to Bleacher Report. Give them some love. So he's 32-0 with 22 knockouts. He held the middleweight, the portion of the middleweight title since 2019. He was a former IBF light middleweight title, but he has not fought since 2021 when he defeated Juan something by unanimous decision to retain his belt. He has 13-year career. He's stepping up in weight class. He's never fought at 168 pounds, but he's been calling for this fight. He is really good. Really, really good. His twin brother is the other one, Jamello. And he's the one, I think he has, Jermell Charlo. He has one loss. Wait. Yeah, Jermell Charlo has one loss, but he fights at super welterweight. And he's redeemed that loss. But Jamal is fucking a beast, dude. He really, but it's Canelo. You know what I'm saying? It's Canelo. So he's 32-0. Like I said, he hasn't fought since 619. Let's see. He's got some people on his record. And he's fought some really good people. But I don't know if he's ready for this Canelo. I just don't know, man. What do you think about the fight? Just first initial reactions.
It's going to be interesting. I think he's got a good chance. You know, Alvarez is nearing the end.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited to watch it now.
I'll have to see more as it comes closer, see more of their training. But this is the thing with me when it comes to Canelo. Like, would I say he had a chance? I might say he has a chance. No, I might not even say he has a fucking chance. Because really, honestly, outside of Canelo stepping up in weight class and fighting Beaver, who is a lot bigger, and Floyd, he's never looked bad. He's never even looked. I mean, Gigi, he looked hurt a couple times in the first fight. But, I mean, I don't know. I just think this is going to be another one where Canelo dominates him in the later rounds.
Could be.
All right. Last thing we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about this damn tweet that got it all started. Talk about it. Talk about Super Bowl hangover / slump.
I don't know if you could call it a hangover or a slump because we all know how difficult it is to win back-to-back Super Bowls in the NFL.
Well, this is the thing. The hangover, the slump is not considered winning. It's considered, in this scenario, when we were talking about it, we were looking more as a team goes to the Super Bowl, they either win or lose, and because of that, the hangover of them partying too much, like when you get too drunk, not taking their shit seriously, they've reached a mountaintop, or the slump where you're just ultimately defeated, and then they don't do well the next year. They don't make the playoffs. They're no longer a contending team. Like, they have a horrible fucking year. And it's so like basically the Rams this year. Granted, Matthew Stafford got injured, and we know that. You see what I'm saying? So imagine if Matthew Stafford doesn't get injured and they just play like shit. That's kind of, but what I think what we were talking about in that scenario, where they a contender or they don't make the playoffs is a tweet that started it. So back in the day, there used to be a huge thing called the Super Bowl slump. It used to be the loser of the Super Bowl would not make the Super Bowl and would not make the playoffs the next year. Super Bowl hangover, not for the Chiefs. Ha ha ha. Exactly. They will be in the AFC Championship again. Exactly. My point with that was it's not a hangover. When you have, and I'm not even going to say they're a dynasty, because when you say they're a dynasty, you get pushback. But when you've had a 5-year stretch of how good they've been, it's not a hangover. You just had a bad year. That's kind of what happens. That's kind of what happens. But so we'll give you an idea. Like, okay, so for instance, let's just go back. You had So you had the Denver Broncos in 1990. They lost to, they were 11-5, or in 1989. In 1990, they lost to the San Francisco Niners. And then the next year they went 5-11 and were 5th in the AFC West division. They were last in the division and didn't even make the playoffs. So those are the type of ones when it started. You have the Cincinnati Bengals again that were 12-4 the year before, and then they went 8-8 and finished 4th in the division, didn't make the playoffs. It doesn't happen all the time because as you go through and look at it, you have the Denver Broncos lost in the 87 Super Bowl. They lost in the 88 Super Bowl, and then they lost in the 90 Super Bowl. So they were in Super Bowls 3 years in a row, 3 years out of 4, and they lost all of them. It was just one of those things where, and would you call that a hangover or a slump, or they just had a bad season? You had the Buffalo Bills that went 4 in a row. But then you get into the San Diego Chargers versus the San Franciscos. You get to the 95s. So San Diego was 11-5 in their division. The next year, they were 9-7. They made the playoffs. So the 49ers, we know that team was good. That was the Steve Young Niners. So we know they were good. 13-3. The next year, they went 11-5. So was it ever a thing, or was it ever just a couple teams being bad, having bad seasons? Do you see what I'm saying? And now people are pushing a narrative. Like, there's not shit to talk about, so we're just going to make up shit. What do you think?
With the way the world is today, it is literally just going to be everybody's can twist everything to fit their narrative. It's like I could say, oh, I like skinny people, and you turn around and say, oh, so you hate fat people?
Yeah.
What? When the fuck did I say that? It's everybody's going to twist everything just so they can fit their fucking narrative or their argument or whatever. It is what it is.
So, and that's like my question to that original tweet was, why would they have a slump? Like, why? Just want to know where your thought process is. And he's like, oh, I could see because they lost players. Dude, do you know every Super Bowl team loses players? Like every single one. Every good team loses players because they get paid. So what we're going to do is we're going to go real quick through, what do you want to do, last 20 years?
What?
And see if there was a Super Bowl slump or Super Bowl hangover? Because I don't even think it's a fucking thing. I think it's just something that media made up and people just hang on to it. I don't ever think it was a thing.
I don't think so either.
So, I mean, even we'll just go real quick, 90s. Okay, we already talked about this. In the 90s, you had the San Francisco 49ers 2 years in a row. The Denver Broncos 3 out of 4. That was the late 80s. So then you have the Bills 4 years. The Giants, the Redskins, the Cowboys, the Niners, the Cowboys. So we could say the Packers, the Patriots. You could say the Patriots. You could probably say the Patriots in 1997. Because the next year, nope, they went 10-6 the next year. So you can't fucking say the Patriots. They made the playoffs. They were first in their division. So is a Super Bowl slump considered, or a hangover, is that considered a team that wasn't, does that only happen to teams that weren't supposed to get there? And then if you actually say, oh, well, we could say the Atlanta Falcons. Well, the Atlanta Falcons shouldn't have been in the fucking Super Bowl. They had one good run. Nobody considered them a contender really before then. The New York Giants, those 2 Super Bowls, they just got hot. So I can't call it a slump or a hangover because, bitches, they weren't that good beforehand. They were a run-of-the-mill team. The Baltimore Ravens with both of their Super Bowls. Will we call it a slump if they're not contender? No, because did we ever really consider them a contender, or did we just consider it a great run? We got to remember they beat the Peyton Manning Broncos. So that's kind of, so let's just, we'll get into it. Let's see. We'll go from 2000. So we got the Rams and the Titans. Okay. Rams went to the Super Bowl the next 2 years later. We got, let's just see. Nope. Bitch. Titans Titans the next season were first in their division. They had the exact same record. Rams, we know, went to the Super Bowl the year before, so we'll leave that alone the next year. We'll leave that one alone. But Baltimore Ravens and the New York Giants. 2001. What do you think about those two teams? Do you remember those teams? That Super Bowl?
I don't remember.
Motherfucker, we'll go 2010. We'll do 2010. We'll do last 10 years. We'll go 2013. Okay. Ravens versus the Niners. You remember that Super Bowl? The lights go out?
Yes.
Okay. Ravens went 10-6 that year. They were 10-6 that year. First in the AFC North. The next year they went 8-8. They were third in their division. Didn't make the playoffs. Would you consider that a Super Bowl hangover?
I don't know that it's a hangover. Like it's not easy to fucking win 2 Super Bowls back to back. Like I don't get it. I don't get the argument. I don't get what.
It's not easy to be a contending team for 2 years. Fuck winning 2 Super Bowls. It's hard to make the playoffs for 2 straight years.
Right. Like, I mean, when you're talking about a sport where there's fucking injuries involved, you got fucking 53 players to fucking on a team to worry about, plus practice squad injuries, fucking weather, fucking whatever, right? Outside forces. Like, I mean, it's not easy to like. The outliers, the Chiefs.
Well, and not even that. We're not even the Chiefs, the Patriots. Not even that. It's also the fucking quarterback. That is one of the most, like, a quarterback tears his labrum. Baker Mayfield, when he had his shoulder injury, you don't even have to be like, you don't have to get injured like Tom Brady breaking his leg, but just fucking your hand up or fucking up your chest as a quarterback, and that could derail your whole entire season because you're not playing up to your capability. The lights out game, yes, that is the lights out game. The 49ers should have really won that game. And I remember the times it used to be described more as a slow start to the season. Exactly. And I think also when it comes to that, we're disrespecting how many more games they have to play. So especially right now. So if you make the playoffs, only one team gets a bye in each conference now. So regardless, if you're not that one team, you have wild card, divisional, championship, Super Bowl. So you've already played 17 games. Now you're playing 21. So now you're playing 21 games. You're playing into February. Your body's banged up. Everybody's fucking injured. They're not going to OTAs and all them camps. They're enjoying their life. They have to get surgeries in the offseason. Fuck. God. Pacheco was playing with a broken fucking hand. Yeah, Pacheco had to get 2 surgeries in the offseason. The running back for the Chiefs that was fucking a rookie. 2 surgeries. Might not have been a broken hand. It might have been broken something else. But he had to get 2 surgeries. So now you got 6 weeks, 8 weeks of healing time. So you get done in February, get your surgery done late February. You're done healing in May. What the fuck's going on? It is very, very hard. I think that's disrespectful to how hard it is to win a Super Bowl or even make the playoffs. And fuck you, Tom Brady. You made everything easy. Everybody thinks it's easy to do this shit. It's not. It is the Patriots are an outlier. The Chiefs are an outlier. The Niners are an outlier. Even though the Niners haven't won a Super Bowl, they've been consistently good no matter what happens. You have it's not even the Patriots. Tom Brady's a fucking outlier. Let me think. So let's say right now, okay, the Eagles don't make the playoffs next year. Let's just say they don't, okay? Let's say something happens. Let's say I don't even say they don't make. Let's say nothing happens. Let's just say they play a tough ass schedule and things don't go their way, and they end up going 9-8, and they don't make the playoffs because everybody else has a better record. We can even say 10-7. 9-8, 10-7, they don't make the playoffs because every other team has a better record. Is that a slump? Because I'm sorry, did anybody expect the Eagles to be in the Super Bowl the year before? I didn't. Did you?
No.
Did you come into last season saying Super Bowl Eagles are no? So that can't technically be a slump in my opinion because you have to have expectations going into the season before, in my opinion, for that to happen. You can't just be a team that got hot. So Niners, we know the Niners continued to be good. We know that. We know the Niners and the Ravens continued to be good, even though they missed. They may have missed that. We know the Niners were in the NFC Championship the next year. We know that because that's where we get that try me with a sorry ass wide receiver. That's what you get from fucking Crabtree from Seattle. So then you got Seattle and the Broncos. Okay, so Seattle loses. Seattle beats the Broncos, beats the shit out the Broncos the next year. Broncos still make the playoffs the next year. They go 12-4.
Well. What just happened?
I hit back on the wrong fucking thing. So, yeah. Last year, so Seattle makes the Super Bowl the next year. So they go back-to-back Super Bowls, and Denver makes a playoff. So there's not a hangover, nor is there a slump. The Patriots and the Seahawks. Well, the Patriots, they win. We know that. The next year, we know they make the playoffs because they didn't miss the playoffs with Tom Brady, except for 1 year, I think. Seattle, do they make the playoffs the next year? Let's see. They go 10-6, second in their division. Yep, they make the playoffs. So there's no slump there. So we're right now 3 Super Bowls in, and we have not seen a slump. The first time you may get to a slump is Carolina and Denver. Denver and Carolina in 2016. Do you remember that Super Bowl? The Cam Newton MVP season where Denver beat the fuck out of them, and then Peyton Manning retires at the end of that. Do you remember that? Beat the living shit out of Cam Newton? Yeah, okay. That's Super Bowl. Now you're going to have a Super Bowl hangover and a Super Bowl slump there because Peyton Manning retired.
But that's not a hangover or slump. I mean, they lost
exactly.
Like
one of the greatest of all time retired. So we can't count that because we can't count that, right? That's just a rebuild. The team is it's a rebuild, so it's no slump.
They lost the person at the most important position on the team. Like
exactly. And they have to now rebuild it. It's like, okay, so now we get to Carolina. Can we call Carolina? They were 15-1, and the next season they went 6-10. Did not make the playoffs. Cam Newton started 14 games. He was 6-8 as a quarterback. Would you call that a slump?
What was their record the season before?
15-1.
The season before the Super Bowl?
Oh, the season they went to Super Bowl was 15-1. The season before the Super Bowl was 7-8.
So
7-8-1.
So somehow the gods were in their favor for one season. Like
okay, so it's
not a slump if you went from a losing record to a winning record to a losing record.
Thank you. Okay, I agree.
The abnormality is the fucking Super Bowl.
Exactly. Okay, so that we could have called that a Super Bowl luck, the lucky season, the golden season. They got a golden ticket, whatever the fuck they want to call it, but it cannot be considered a slump.
No,
okay, so now we go to the next one. This is the only one that I could kind of think of that might be considered a slump. And this is the Atlanta Falcons. We're not even touching on the Eagles or the Patriots, I mean, because we know the Patriots went to Super Bowl the next year. So Atlanta went 11-5 in that division the next year. And then the next season they went 10-6, but they were third in their division.
So I mean, it can't be a slump. I mean, where's the slump?
Because
they didn't make the playoff.
They did make the playoffs. They did make the playoffs, but they got booted in the first round. And the only reason why I'm not saying it is the only reason I could give somebody a slump on this is because, in my opinion, they would have said at that time Matt Ryan won the MVP, and they thought that Matt Ryan and them would ascend to be that next team in the NFC East. They thought he was taking over
the playoffs the next season, so there's no
Drew. But this is the reason why I can't give them a slump. 28-3.
Yeah.
You can't give up the greatest comeback in the history of NFL, Super Bowl history, and not fucking have something wrong with you the next year.
Yeah.
Mentally and physically fucked up. Like there's no like that's so you can't go.
They weren't even mentally and physically fucked up. They went 10-6.
Yeah, but but the problem in that scenario is
they were just in a good division.
And you can't even say they had a slow start. So yeah, they weren't a bad team. They were just because they were third in the division. They were just in a good division. You're 100% right. So again,
you can't say they had a slump if they had a winning record, made the playoffs.
Yep.
I mean, it's not.
And they were third in the division at 10-6. Okay, no, I agree with you. That was the one. I can't give them a slump. That was the one that I was like, okay, I could give somebody that. But going just off the top of the head, when me and Alyssa were talking about it, just off the top of the head. But now that we look at it, yeah, you're right. It's not a fucking slump. They made the playoffs the next year. Yeah, no, fuck that. Yeah. And yeah, okay. So now we have the Eagles and the Patriots. Well, we know the Patriots weren't in a slump because they made the playoffs the next year. They made the Super Bowl the next year. So they went to 3 straight Super Bowls. And the Eagles made the playoffs the next year. They were 9-7. They were second in their division. And they had the Carson Wentz injury in the playoffs. And I can't really call it a slump or a hangover because Nick Foles won the fucking Super Bowl. Like, yes, they were playing great, but when your MVP caliber quarterback goes down in the middle of the season, you should not win any playoff games. Or goes down towards the end of the season, you should not win your playoff games. You damn sure should make it to the Super Bowl with Nick Foles. Yeah. So I can't call it a slump, but they made the playoffs the second year, and Carson Wentz got injured against the Seahawks. And I think it was David Clowney that injured him. So that's not a slump. You see what I'm saying?
No.
You agree?
Yeah.
I know you agree. Just want to get your opinion. Okay, so then you have the Patriots and the Rams. The Rams went 9-7 the next year. Did not make the playoffs. They were third in their division.
But Stafford got injured.
The year before, they're 13-3. They were 11-5. But
Stafford got injured through the season.
This was Sean McVay's third year as a coach. So would you consider this a slump?
No. You had a winning record. Your Super Bowl winning quarterback got injured. So now you're
no. The Rams. No. This is not last year. This is when they had Jared Goff. When they lose to the Patriots. In the worst Super Bowl ever. 13-6.
Oh, is that the Super Bowl I turned off?
Yeah, that's the Super Bowl everybody turned off halfway through. Yes. That's the one where the score was like fucking 9-3 until fucking halfway through.
I mean, can you call it a slump if
13-3 was the final score?
I don't know that I.
But remember, that is the same season that the Chiefs and them put up 55 points, and they had one of the best offenses in the league. So the next year they have a winning record, but they're 9-7 and don't make the playoffs. Could that be a hangover?
I mean, I guess you could consider it a hangover, but I mean,
or could you just consider it growing pains? Because Jared Goff was only in his third year as a starter, and Sean McVay was in his third year as a head coach. That's another reason why it might be a hangover.
Well, I don't know that you could call it growing pains. You can't. I mean, it's their third year with the same quarterback and head coach duo.
Okay.
There's no. What's there left to grow?
That's true.
You're on season 3.
That's true. So I mean, this might be the only one we can say is a hangover so far, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The next season, we have the Chiefs and the Niners. We know that the Patriots made the playoffs that year. They lost to Tennessee in the opening round in the wild card weekend. We know that because that was Tom Brady's last year. The Chiefs make the Super Bowl the next year, so we can just stop. They're not in a slump for the next 5 years, so we can just stop. The Niners go 6-10 the next year. But Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt.
I was gonna say, didn't Jimmy G get?
He only plays 6 games, and they start Mullins and Berthard.
Well,
so we can't call that.
I'm not gonna call that a slump. I'm gonna call that bad personnel decisions.
Okay, exactly. You're gonna call that fucking. That's what's his face. Kyle Shanahan's quarterback's getting injured. It's Kyle Shanahan.
I'm calling that bad personnel decisions. What the fuck do you expect? You get Jimmy G go down. You got fucking Nick Mullins and Bethard.
Yeah. So okay. So again, we can't call it out a slump. Then you have the Chiefs and the Bucks. The Bucks the year after made the playoffs because the two examples the guy gave. Was the Patriots and the Bucks. The Patriots lost Tom Brady. I cannot call that a slump. And they did make the playoffs the next year. Because Mac Jones made the playoffs as a rookie. Remember, that's when they fucking started gassing his ass up.
Yeah.
But they did go from contender to fucking. So in that scenario, I mean, you can't really say nothing. They made the playoffs the next year, so it's not a slump. So I can't give the Patriots a slump. That's why I told him, I'm like, I'm not going to debate that because they ended up losing Brady the next year after that. So if you're trying to say that they had a slump after they lost Brady, shut the fuck up.
You can't have a slump when you lose the greatest of all time.
And besides, after they won the Super Bowl, they still made the playoffs. Yeah. And they were still a contender, and it was considered an upset that Tennessee beat them. So the Niners, we can't call that a slump. The Bucks, they made the playoffs the next year. They lost to the Rams in the second round, and the Chiefs lose in the AFC Championship. The Rams and the Bengals make it to the AFC Championship. The Rams have a horrible fucking season due to Matthew Stafford getting injured.
You got one possible slump.
In the last 10 years,
13 years,
we have we have the Los Angeles Rams. It's the only possible slump.
Yeah, it's the only possible.
That's the only slump or hangover. And yeah. I mean, I can tell you right now, if we went back,
everything else can be explained.
If we went backwards, I can tell you, maybe you have the New York Giants. Maybe you have the New York Giants twice, because they did not make the playoffs after they won the Super Bowl. But they were 9-7 going. They had the identical record that they had the next year.
In my opinion, you can only call it a hangover or a slump if you can't explain why you sucked this year.
Yeah, so
if you can explain why you lost Tom Brady, your quarterback gets hurt 5 games into the fucking season.
Or you can explain it by basically saying you weren't that good, you just got lucky. Like if you went 9-7 in 2012, the year you won the Super Bowl, and the next year you go 9-7, that's not a slump. You just got lucky that year.
Or
nobody expected you.
Or if you go 6-10, then you go 15-1, and then go 6-10.
Exactly.
You just went back to who you really are.
So if we're going down the line, we're just quickly down from 2012. Don't even have to talk about this. We'll go backwards to 12 years. Giants, no. Patriots, we know they weren't because they were still in the fucking playoffs. Packers, Steelers. Packers were basically in the playoffs the whole entire time. Steelers continue to be in the playoffs. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing record. Saints, Colts. You could say the Saints, but that's also because of Bounty Gate. So fuck that fucking slump shit where half the team got suspended. Pittsburgh, Arizona. Maybe Arizona. But I also think Carson Wentz being old, that might be another one that we get a slump in, is Arizona. That one, nope, they went 10-6 and won their division the next year, so never mind. I was fucking wrong. That was just off the top of my head. So, Giants, New England again. nobody expected the Giants. Chicago, nobody expected Chicago. Seattle, nobody expected Seattle. New England, Philadelphia, no. New England, Carolina, nobody really expected Carolina. Tampa Bay, Oakland, ooh. Okay. Maybe that one, Jeremy. But let me see. That might be one. We might have found 2 of them in the last 20 years. I don't know where Jeremy went, but we might have found 2 of them in the last 20 years. The Los Angeles Rams losing to the Patriots and the Oakland Raiders losing to the Tampa Bay Bucks. So that he knew I was about to say the Raiders. That's why he jumped off, really honestly. He was like, oh shit, he's about to say the fucking Raiders. He's going backwards. He was counting down to the time that I got there. So we might actually call the Raiders the Super Bowl something too. The Oakland Raiders with the Rich Gannon and the fucking, what's his face, Bill Cowher. Up, back. Okay, so I went back to 2003. We might have found 2.
I heard you talk about the Raiders. You can't call it a slump.
Why not?
Because they traded Gruden, and for the 02 season, they used his fucking playbook in the Super Bowl. So obviously, if you use the guy's playbook that you just fucking traded to the team that you're playing, he's obviously gonna know what the fuck you're doing.
Yes,
you can't call it a slump. You lost the coach.
But you can, because they went to the Super Bowl after they lost the coach. The immediately next year, they went to the Super Bowl. So they didn't trade
that same coach's playbook. They didn't change
I get
anything.
That. They just had bad luck of playing the wrong coach. But they still went to the Super Bowl after they traded him. They were an AFC. You went from 12-4, 10-6, 11-5 to 4-12 with basically the same team, but Rich Gannon got injured. So that's why you can't call it a slump. Rich Gannon's old ass did get injured. So I would give you that over the slump. Do you see what I'm saying? Over the trading the team. Because I did forget he got injured, and then the next year he was gone, right? Yeah, and then he got injured again. And you guys started Kerry Collins. So because Rich Gannon got injured, I will probably say that's not a slump. Because he was an MVP caliber quarterback the year before. Do you get what I'm saying? You with me?
Yeah.
Okay. But so that, yeah, only team we got is the Los Angeles Rams, which make no sense, but that's because Jared Goff sucked. I'm trying to go even further back. St. Louis Rams, New England Patriots, no. Baltimore Ravens, New York Giants. Both of those 2 might be one of them. No, Baltimore Ravens are still good. New York Giants are still good. They had Eli Manning, yeah. Yeah, so no Super Bowl. I think it's something that is fabricated. I don't think it exists. I think it is very easy way for people to have a talking point. So yeah, we've gone back 20 years. It doesn't exist. I don't give a fuck. Jeremy, you got anything else you want to talk about? Figure out which game you want to go to. Do you want to go to Monday or Thursday's game?
I have no idea.
Huh?
I don't know.
All right, well, let me know. I'm down to go to either one. Like I said, I prefer to go to Thursdays. And I'm not that far. I'll just literally go from work to the game.
I'm literally right down the street.
Yeah, but from your work?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it starts at 7.
Yeah, I get off at 5:30.
I thought you got off at 3:30.
I do, but I work overtime.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I get off at 5:30 too, so I'll just head straight there, yeah.
Yeah.
So just let me know, because I don't know how you're going to feel if you could sit that whole time.
Well, I ain't going to be able to sit the whole time.
So just let me know.
Yeah, I'll let you know. Well, when
All
tickets go down, because now it's like $97 for 200.
Are you serious? That's fucking crazy, dude.
Thursday tickets are up there a little bit.
Like, don't get me wrong. Am I kind of happy that they're getting more money? Yes, but they're not getting more money. They
For
just
Section 218, it starts from $91.
Yeah, but when you look at their,
there's a lot that are lower, but the 100s isn't where we want them to be yet.
Yeah, but when you look at the arena, they're not full. Like, they don't have, it's not a full arena. They don't have a lot of fucking people in the arena. It's just like last year.
Yeah, the hundreds are still up there. They're not where we want them to be yet.
Yeah, because the 200's only, they're $10. The 200s, we don't want to be there.
No, we don't want to be in the 200s. Even though there's not a bad seat in the arena. I don't want to be in the 200s.
Yeah, but after that original seat, when we sat in those 100s.
The second time we went.
Yeah.
We sat in like 108.
Why is it only showing me fucking, wait, hold on. Why are you not showing me all the seats? Why are you only showing me fucking 200s? I can't even pick a 100.
So Thursday, where we at? So.
Oh, we might. Oh, see, that might be the problem. We might have to buy them a fucking resale.
Where are you looking?
Yeah, I'm looking on Liberty versus the Aces.
On the team site.
No, yeah, I am on the team site. But when I originally went here, I'll show you. So when I went here to get tickets right here, see, I'm on the team site.
Oh, that's why.
I went here, but then I went to this one. When I went here, they wouldn't even let me look. They don't even let me see.
The Vivid Seats is the cheaper one.
Yeah, they won't let me see any of these seats down here. So then I went to here, the resale. And that's what people did. People just bought up a whole bunch of these, and now they let me see everything. Right here is 40. That's 91. Fuck that shit.
The 40 is going to be up. Yeah.
Yeah, right here. Nope, not even $40, these bitches. Yeah, so we'll see if they go down. Yeah. Yeah, motherfuckers be lying. I ain't got no $20, $9 tickets. Yeah. So yeah, let's see, because that's really the game I want to go to. I know I've said that like 18 times. But if we can go see all four of them fuckers, I said that so long. And we can go see, what is there, 8 of them? Of course, see our aces, which we get to see, but you add on Brianna Stewart, Sabrina, Courtney Vandersloot, and whatever her name is. You're more than welcome to come. I would love to watch a WNBA game with you. I think it'd be fucking hilarious.
It's always a good time when we go to games together.
Yep. So
we're always making fun of people.
We talk so much shit. So much fucking shit.
Well, a lot of it's me talking about people.
I'm just fucking dying of laughter.
And everybody around us is looking at us like, what the fuck?
All right, Jeremy, you got anything else you want to talk about before we get off?
Nope, I think we're good.
All right, I hope everybody has a fabulous weekend. Check us out on Twitter so that way you know when we're going to the game. When we do go to this game, we might do some video blogging. But no, we're going to do some video blogging.
We're going to do what?
Whatever the fuck that is. We take the cameras and video, like us walking in, getting our tickets done, you know, that stupid influencer shit that they do.
Well, we don't need the cameras. We just need our phones.
Cell phone, that's what I said.
Because I've got the mics.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're definitely going to do that. We're definitely going to do a lot more of us talking and shit like that when we go to the game. So we'll definitely, that. Okay, the Roku, yeah. We won't. We will not. It actually yesterday was nice.
Man,
It's about to get triple digits though. So everybody have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on all the social media, all that bullshit. And Jeremy, take us out when you're ready.
Put me in, coach.
Peace.